Robin Hood and Little John walking through the forest.
Laughing back and forth and... Oh, God.
Oh, yeah,
I'm glad you took it, because I didn't remember.
I could not remember it either.
Dude, Baloo was everywhere for that couple of years.
Yeah,
like,
he was.
Baloo was like, you know what, we need to have Baloo as Little John.
And, like, you know, Robin Hood and Maid Mary was basically played by Todd from Fox and the Hound.
Yeah.
And don't even get me started on fucking Tailspin.
I was just going to mention
Please
Tailspin.
Okay, so guys. Okay, so it's Jungle Book, right? But what do kids like even more than Jungle Book? Biplanes.
What?
Joe, what are you talking about? No, test me, okay? They're biplanes, and Baloo flies a trick biplane, and he has to fight these dog fighters. They're always trying to fight him down. And Shere Khan, he's like this big tycoon, right? But that's not it. He's also a single father now. Like he's got this tumultuous relationship, and he's a small business owner.
Bob, I think you're getting into the Coke too much.
Mm-hmm. You said more Coke? Okay. Oh yeah, that was the good decision.
No, we mean Coca-Cola.
Okay, I also have a great idea about this movie where machines attack called Maximum Overdrive. Welcome to Netflix and Kill.
Woo-hoo!
Oh my god, yes. Another special edition, another live recording with our special guests. You've heard them before, you will hear them again. It's the AA Battery Gamers.
Hear us roar!
That was actually roaring and then coughing. Unaccustomed to using that roar, apparently. Amanda, how's your roar?
Meow.
Meow? Okay. I mean, it's cuter. I like it. I don't think it would inspire much fear, but, that's just me. Travis, how you doing?
Bark.
Moo.
Man, the banter, the back and forth here, it's really great, guys. It's just the chemistry. I mean, man, you guys, you're really willing to commit to the bit.
Animal sounds.
I'll make a giraffe sound. Anyway... What are we talking about today, guys?
I don't know.
Troll hunters.
That we're talking
Are
about?
we talking about Troll Hunters again?
Yeah.
Master Jim, destiny is a gift. Never forget that fear is but the precursor to valor. And to strive and triumph in the face of fear is what it means to be a hero. After everything we've been through. Are you ready?
He's joking, right? If anything stops us from defeating Gunmar, it's not just us in danger, it's everyone.
Tonight, we clean the earth for troll time!
Gunmar and Morgana want to destroy the world. We live in this world!
I found a way to Merlin's tomb. You guys ready?
Holy Merlin.
Oh, that's good.
For the glory of, you, daylight is mine to command. What? We get armor too?
With fortitude and bravery, we can end the threat for all time!
Let's go.
Hangman!
I never thought I'd enjoy a wedgie so much.
For the final time.
We meet again.
The final time.
For the last time.
I don't know, I'm just eating a cookie.
So yeah, we are talking about part 3 of Troll Hunters because Netflix is weird and just doesn't market these
It's setting you like what, number 4 or 5?
I don't know. I don't even know how we're keeping track of this anymore, considering... Like,
It's done. Who cares?
like, whatever. Yeah, we're talking about the last, 12 episodes, I think?
13.
13, alright. So they did shorten it up, I think.
I think they were all 13.
Were they?
Yeah, the first part was 26.
Right, and then that one was clearly 2 seasons stitched together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're talking about part 3 here. This is the last season of Troll Hunters. Doesn't sound like it was a planned last season, like they had to wrap it up pretty quick here. Netflix canceled that shit. Much to Guillermo del Toro's
Well, he was
chagrin.
like planning like 2 other series to go with it.
Right. So, guys, I know we're all pretty much, maybe, I mean, big fans might be good. I know you guys enjoy the show.
Yeah.
For
the most part.
Me and Travis, we also enjoyed it. Maybe not as much as stuff like we watch, like Voltron or
Hell no.
or
I enjoy Voltron more.
But, not everything can be Voltron. Not everything can be...
or I should say Kittytron.
not everything can reach Kittytron levels. Kitty-chan levels.
Kitty-chan.
Kitty-chan.
John.
So, how do we feel about this part 3, guys? It is wrapped up, and I feel like we need to talk about it. I'm curious. I have thoughts. I'm curious to hear what are some of the other thoughts. Ashley, how about you? When do you want to start us off?
Oh man, the whole time watching this, I just felt that Merlin was just a really big asshole.
I like how that's how we start off. Like, not any of the main characters,
Yeah.
but this.
Well, we've
douchebag.
talked, to be fair, we talked about the other main characters for like the last some seasons.
Yeah, we
And
did.
this is like, Merlin shows up, and he's kind of a big player. And he's kind of just annoying.
He's
Well,
just a huge
not to
dick.
mention, voiced by I don't know his name, but the same guy who was on Game of Thrones, Walder Frey.
Oh, that guy. Okay, yeah, now I hear it. Oh, no wonder I hated that prick.
Yep. And
David Bradley.
I feel like that character kind of mysteriously vaped over into his Merlin character here. And just kind of personified.
Boo Merlin, justice for the Starks. So, yeah, Merlin is an interesting character in the fact that when he shows up, you think like at first he's always been built up in the series. So when he comes about, it's like a big deal, and he has terrible ideas about how to fight the Gunmar and everyone. Like every suggestion he puts forth does not work out. Like all his shit is terrible.
Because as I kept watching, I kept thinking to myself, "Oh, okay, this is bad, but does it have a chance to get better? Is it going to get better? No, it doesn't."
Wow. Okay, so I thought we might have more contention on this, but I feel very similarly. About that.
It was pretty much useless.
I wanted to give him the benefit of a doubt. I really did.
No, he pretty much just hindered the team to outright just made bad decisions.
Yeah,
Also, he never learns a fucking lesson.
No, he has no character arc.
He doesn't say sorry or say that he was wrong in any way. Just an asshole the whole time.
He's
And
purely Machiavellian the whole entire time.
I start thinking that what if this is like one of those what if stories where it is like a tyranny of Merlin kind of deal instead of like this great mentor who
I kind of
does the one and future king.
I kind of have the feeling that he might be a bad guy in one of the later series.
Yeah, and he's purposefully putting forth all of these bad ideas.
I mean,
I
think he's just poorly written.
Yeah, to me, he just kind
Would
of came
be.
off as like the ends justifies the means kind of guy. We're just
Right.
like, nope, I have this goal. Fuck everyone else. I will use them as I will.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I mean, I don't disagree with that at all. But how do we feel about our main people that are back?
I mean,
About our main characters?
I kind of like how they wrote in the new voice actor for
Oh,
Jim.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they had to work around that shit. Which was they replaced him with Emil Hirsch from films like The Girl Next Door and Speed Racer. Because Anton Yelkin, of course, passed away.
Yep.
And man, they had a lot more recorded with him than I at first thought.
Yeah.
They made it a long time without having to replace him. I know this will probably be controversial, but I feel like Emil Hirsch is just a better voice for Jim. I feel like he's a better voice actor overall. Like, he's still not, like, it's not amazing or anything.
Yeah.
But I always thought, like, rest in peace, Anton Yelkin. I
Right.
never thought he was cut out for the voice acting game in particular.
Yeah, it seems to me that, no disrespect to Anton Yelkin, but it just seems to me that he's was more in his element with live action acting
Yeah.
than he was in voice acting.
Agreed. So yeah, he's back.
I
Claire-
do. Well, the thing is that I do really love that episode though. They do the whole switch because it was fucking freaky.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That was actually legit terrifying.
It was. Holy shit.
That was fun. Of course, I really you know what I really appreciate is the fact that we left off the last season with the stupid mom gets amnesia arc, only for it to become completely irrelevant by episode 4 or 5.
I'm so fucking pissed.
And I'm like, oh, I'm glad that we wasted a bunch of this time that we could have used developing these characters. I mean, I do like that she ropes the other parents in.
It's
yeah.
like,
Oh,
see,
God.
prove to me that I'm not crazy. Nope, I'm just gonna let you sit here and burn this bridge yourself.
I just wanted Jim to take her aside like, what are you, an idiot? Of course I'm gonna lie in front of them. And they'll believe me, you sound crazy. and it's like, yeah, what did she think was gonna happen? Like,
Right?
And so I like that they tell the parents and that they kind of are willing to accept that their children are off doing their own thing. I mean, it makes it a lot easier. We don't have to do the whole the kids are pretending to go do something else trope. And I find that, I found that tiresome in a lot of shows and stuff where they have to keep up the persona or whatever.
Right. And this one, in fact, actually, the parents helped do that themselves. They're like, nope, we're doing a play. Yeah,
that was good.
That's what we're doing.
Hey.
Yeah.
And even the local cop wants to get in on it.
Yeah, that's the local cop is pretty fun.
Oh, yeah. And,
Who is what's her name's dad?
Darcy?
The one Toby's into.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who proceeds to steal a police car.
I'm sorry, I'm an orphan.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Of course, we have Toby and Claire back. They get some armor this season that they never used until the final episode.
Yeah, that's kind of bullshit.
Did you notice that they introduced it like episode 2 or 3 and then never used that shit? That's like if Zordon gave the fucking Power Rangers the suits, like, look at all this cool stuff in these Zords, and then they proceeded to just use martial arts for like 7 episodes.
Right?
What are you talking about?
Oh my god.
If a fucking wizard gave you a piece of armor when you were a kid, tell me it would, like, how people would have to keep you from wearing that armor.
I mean, to be fair, I might not wear an armor made from a scooter.
Yeah.
That's just me.
I mean, for shit's sake, when I was a kid, people had to keep me from taking all my toys to school with me.
Yeah, it was just a Vespa. It deserved to die.
Right, but would you want armor made out of that? I don't know how much you're
Yeah.
gonna protect.
Hey, armor made out of toys, the Ninja Turtles. Hey.
So we have
Badass.
Gunmar is back as one of our main baddies, although he has backup this season in the form of not only Morgana, Le Fay, and who is possessing Claire through some of this episode as well. But he's also backed up by resurrected Angor Rat, which is cool because I always liked Angor Rat as a character.
Yeah, he's definitely like the best villain of the series.
But weird because his character arc kind of ended.
Yeah.
Right. I like that he remembers suddenly, like, oh yeah, I was a noble warrior one time.
Yeah.
And like, look, I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. The real problem with this season is that they have to wrap it up all this season.
Yeah.
Everything feels very, very rushed.
Very.
Yes.
That's why it feels like, oh, we had character designs for armor that Claire and Toby were gonna wear, but it wasn't gonna be ready until the next season, which is probably why they introduced it for like the final episode, and then like, it's weird if they only get it for the final episode. Here it is a couple of episodes earlier.
Yeah.
And same goes for a lot of other story beats, like the parents finding out, but then like never having to actually deal with it. This whole battle of the bands thing that doesn't seem to ever come into play
And like
whatsoever.
the 3 random characters that show up and they like never actually provide anything to the plot.
So let's talk about these motherfuckers.
okay.
So we get introduced to new characters that obviously have new character designs, so you're like, oh, these guys are important. One being which was some sort of love foil for Claire, who is like, oh, here's this guy, I guess like his own rock band or something, and then he just drops after that episode.
Yeah,
to never be seen or heard from again.
he shows up in like 2 random scenes like other
It's
episodes.
like a waiter in one episode.
And we're just like, oh, that's right. You have a distinct character model, so you're a villain then? No, you're just not important at all.
You'll notice
It's like-
that. No, go ahead, Ash.
It's like, did he practically Shia LaBeouf it or something?
You guys noticed that. when he's not in a scene particularly, the other characters act like he doesn't exist.
Yeah.
No one ever talks about this guy.
Yeah.
No one ever talks about this guy unless he's on screen in front of them.
Right.
He's a rewrite from the very end. Ah, shit, we were going to introduce this character. I guess we'll throw him in here.
Yeah, I think he's like another one from one of the spin-off series. Because, like, in the last episode, he's, like, fighting the evil trolls, like, and he says, I hate those things. And, like, what the heck is that about?
Yeah.
Tell
Right?
us.
Yeah.
Well, there's
Fill
a
us in,
there's
please.
a lot of that bullshit in here because the other two characters are these foreign exchange students that are all cute about where their origin is from, although they treat things like random household objects like a coffee maker like, what is this sorcery?
No, they seem to have advanced technological like science. At the same time, cannot figure out a vacuum cleaner. Like, wait, which is it?
Like,
You can't be
yeah,
both.
What are you doing here? Like, so it's pretty clear that they're aliens, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what we're all assuming.
Yep,
Yeah.
they're aliens.
I mean,
So-
that's like, oh, I know rocket science, but that lamp right there, baffling.
Yeah, it's like it's a light source, motherfucker. Like it's not that hard to
No.
figure out. Like, we use heat to cook things here. Like, yeah, it's heat and friction energy. Like it's like you're picking the most basic elements.
Like, unless physics don't exist on your planet.
Look, and then so they're obviously from a spinoff that doesn't exist yet. So their episode comes off very weird. It comes off like a crossover episode, except for a show that does not exist yet.
Yeah.
So it's like that episode of where Power Rangers met the Ninja Turtles. if it was not Ninja Turtles, but some other team that you had no idea what they were or had no concept of Ninja Turtles, and you were like, what is this?
Yeah. What
This feels strange. Why?
the hell?
Why do these characters feel way more important than they are?
And it's just kind of jarring in this episode.
It's
And why are they all 15 years old?
also the pacing of this season is all sorts of fucked. Like,
Well, again, it is pretty clear that they were told, like, hey, finish it now.
look, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's not like this season is terrible or anything.
No, it has good things to it, but
There's
that's
good elements in here. Obviously, there was some stuff they wanted to play with, but the fact that it just feels rushed, and we end on what, in my opinion, I'm not sure guys if you share it, but is the weakest season of Troll Hunters.
yeah.
Yes.
Like, it's even more so than even season 1 and stuff like that. It's just like, man, this is weak sauce, guys.
Yeah.
And
Not awesome sauce.
no, not on sauce, some weak sauce going on.
No, in fact, the thing is that they obviously put a lot of work into the actual final battle that happens, because that looked really cool.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, they have a bunch of character. They have a new character model for Jim. We'll save for spoilers for that. But obviously, that was also for a later season because they do it for like no reason.
Yep.
Like this, not really any reason to do it.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of, we talked about Angar Rod, and Gunmar is also in here. He does stuff. Like
He's a thing.
He is a function to revive Morgana. That's basically it.
and also you figure like,
he
oh well,
is-
Morgana, she's our new villain. She'll get developed in some way.
No.
Yep.
Nope.
Can anyone tell me a definitive character trait about Morgana?
She hates Merlin.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, she's got a
Okay, we
personal
got that.
vendetta with him.
She's also
She has a green cape.
she's got green cape. She's mean.
She uses others as
boy.
a means to an end.
Right, like there's not
I feel
even
like there's like a thing going on, like sexual thing between her and Angar Rot, kinda.
was there?
I don't know. That was
Look, I did not
like
pick
just
up
for
on
a
it.
second. I saw something like that. Like, wait,
Well-
maybe.
Watching it, I didn't pick up on it, but I'll
Yeah.
tell you what, send me some fan fiction. We'll see what it does.
Please don't send me that.
So,
But yeah, we heard what I thought about the season. But Mander, what did you think?
well, judging by her comments that she's made so far of agreement, I'd be very surprised. She was like, I loved it. But you know what?
I hated it.
Amanda, go for it. You-
Well, no,
what
it
did-
was. I didn't hate it. It was still pretty good, but you know what happened to my favorite character kind of soured my mood about it,
Yeah.
which I'll talk about in the spoiler section.
Sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know what you're talking about there. Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot to go into here, guys. It's just not, like, the writing isn't here.
It's
the
all
pacing
kinda
is all sorts of
subpar.
fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, and it's weird because I feel like this show ended before we truly even hit a stride with Troll Hunters.
Yeah, it definitely should have had like an extra season.
Troll Hunters never got quite it never got as good as it could be. It was always missing something, and it sucks to go out on a whimper like this. Yeah, I mean, there's other story beats we could go into. I mean, the changeling thing is kind of neat. Like,
there's the fact that Arg comes back.
Arg is, I mean, I like Arg and everything, and you know, like some of the school stuff is kind of fun. Like where he's got a whole team of Jim's got a whole team of people now to back him up with schoolwork and and all that sort of stuff. But most of it is very plot heavy on the final goings on here, and we run through, we sprint to the finish line of this final arc. Like even by the time we have a final face off with Gunmar, I feel kind of like this is it. That was basically all of it.
Well, then if I had to guess, if the original plan was probably have Gunmar be the only villain for this one, or at least the main villain, because they keep going he's so powerful, I can't beat him. Okay, I beat him, it's fine. Oh, okay.
He never felt that powerful.
No.
It felt like a lucky shot could take him out. Morgana's the one that feels like, oh, she's super OP.
Yeah.
So...
she is the one to really watch out for.
I mean, Blinky this season, he's taking over for what's-his-face? Bendel, yeah. And so he's got a responsibility role that, comes up in episode 1 and 2 and then never really comes back.
Scum of the earth!
There's a lot of things that get brought up and then dropped, and then,
And the fact that so many things are rushed, but we have so many, side stories, oh my god, one of the trolls stole shit. Oh wait, it wasn't actually the troll, it was something else, and it's why do we care? And then, the side episodes of the other characters happen, and, all this shit happens, we're what about the main fucking story beats, guys? Maybe you should spend a little bit more time on that.
Well, that's what's weird is because we spend so much time on that side bullshit, and then by the time we get to Morgana, we sprint. What the maybe we should have just kept those side characters out, the alien people, ditch them. The new boyfriend for Claire that doesn't go anywhere, ditch that. The fucking Battle of the Bands thing, ditch it. Yeah. Let's spend some time with Morgana and some of these other people and really dig deep into this.
Yeah, she never even got a character episode.
And we never even got her motivation of why she was doing this stuff. Also of
just for chaos.
Yeah, she wanted to rule the world, I guess. I don't know.
Well, also why are the trolls not the masters of their own domain? Why were they fighting a war between these two humans? Do you figure that never brought that it was never brought up?
Morgana made them do it.
Right.
Because reasons.
Well, I mean, that's a cool thing to go on to. Maybe that's why trolls hate humans, is that the hierarchy of humans made them do battle with one another and turn them against one another. There's stuff to do here, guys.
We never even fully explored, why the whole King Arthur motif? Why is that a thing?
Right? We have Merlin and Morgana, but we never mention any of the other Knights of the Round Table.
No.
Yeah. I never even knew about Merlin having any sort of involvement with trolls.
Anyone else think that Jim was some sort of long-lost descendant of Arthur?
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Because we never see his dad.
No.
I was also thinking, the Daylight Sword was actually Excalibur.
Right.
Yeah.
There's, 1,000 things you can do with the Merlinian, heritage, and we don't do basically any of it.
No. We just have Merlin and Morgana as characters, okay, anything else?
And they do all dick.
Yeah, we have just Merlin show up and be kind of weirdly, I don't know, kind of sexual towards Claire. Did anyone else pick up on that?
Yeah. It's kind of hard to miss.
Yeah, that was weird, right? That didn't feel good.
Don't listen to him, Claire. It's Walter Frey.
She's 1,000 years old, and she would be age appropriate back then.
Right.
I mean, to be fair, if it was Walter Frey, yeah.
It's kind of weird to me that the show never brings it up. Claire's hey, stop being weird, dude. They play it off like it's not a big deal. I'm it's kind of a big.
It's okay, Nick, because he's 1,000, so it's all right now.
Yeah.
Come on, personal space, dude.
So boy, I mean, I would talk about some of the stuff that I do like. I mean, I like some of the smaller elements, the animation is a little bit better than even the previous seasons. Their budget, they used up the last of their budget pretty wisely overall. The Changeling story arc, making the Changelings the good guys, a la like later seasons of Buffy, where the villains always become like the good guys.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. Like gives them something to do. Plus, they're interesting characters with pretty cool cool character models that you want to.
Yeah, no,
coming back.
Strickler's pretty interesting this season.
Yeah.
He is.
The vampire-looking chick like felt like she might have was going to get a story at some point, but then that doesn't really happen either. Because I thought she was hooking up with the Drawl at a certain point.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I know they had like a past thing, but like they never like did anything with it. And
Yeah.
that really disappointed me. Like there's like a lot of stuff with Drawl I felt like had potential, but they never did anything.
Yeah,
They
I
nipped
was,
that in the bud.
I was totally expecting something between her and Drawl. Like,
Well, I thought, like, yeah, that gives something for Drawl to do, because after season 1 of Drawl, where he turns, like, oh, I'm on Team Troll Hunter now, and then, like, all he needs to do is reconcile with his dad, and then he reconciles with Ghost Dad, like, in season 2, I think?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, okay, I'm like, oh, his story's done, so he needs something to do, rather than just be Jim's sidekick. So, I mean, I don't know.
Well, he's brainwashed.
Gunmar never really turned out to be that interesting. Morgana is just a bigger version, and like, still, I like Dictatious more than everybody else.
Yeah.
I like that Dictation turns over to the good guys, but then but he also never really gets a big full, like,
He just hangs out with Toby's grandma.
Yeah.
he never
And
gets
their cats.
he never gets a full redemption arc either.
I actually was fine with his character because like everything else was going on. So I'm like, it's probably fine that we just have Mark Hamill hang out in the background. Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
I can live with that.
I don't know, guys. I mean, I don't have much
just
more.
waiting for Dictatious to take a lightsaber and toss it behind him.
There's no try.
No.
I don't know, guys. I don't have much more to say about it until we get to the spoiler section.
I'm out.
Anyone else have anything they want to bring up specifically?
It just
Yeah.
I'm just kind of sad that it's not better.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Series that had potential, but ultimately, I think,
Yeah.
Just didn't live up to it.
considered.
Okay, well, we'll start off with final thoughts for this season, and hey, maybe even the series overall, since we're basically done. Amanda, why don't you start us off?
Well, I was super into it when it first came out, and as the next 2 seasons came out, it was like kind of gradually became a little worse.
Yeah.
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 Go ahead.
No, I feel like the show has been kind of like, it was like kind of on an upswell, like the bell curve is kind of like that curve of like, oh yeah, and then like suddenly it starts to taper off, and you're like, well, it's still good.
Yeah.
But you kind of go, So no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. I think I was just mostly disappointed with what they did with Drawl, because he's my favorite. Yeah. All my opinions
Drawl.
are about Drawl.
Okay.
Strong opinions, very strong.
How about Ashley? Ashley, what do you think?
Drool and Drawl. Aw. Yeah, I am of the same wavelength, because it was Mander who got me into Troll Hunters in the first place, and I thought, oh, hey, cool, another series we can both really get into here, and me being the big like animation nerd, I look for like the technical stuff, and I can tell when I see repetitive things happening.
Sure.
And even cliches. And really it's hard to avoid cliches, but it was still like kind of like that build up on a roller coaster and then a slow letdown.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose with your animation, so you're just happy to see like people in the town in season 2.
Oh God, yeah.
Look, there's people in the background.
They exist.
Like
Oh
people
my
live
God.
Their hair is moving.
Here. Oh boy.
Yeah, that was another thing. Like, why is the hair not moving? I know that is animation as a whole is really hard to do, anyways. But geez,
I mean, again, it's not the worst 3D show I've ever seen. In
It's
fact,
actually probably the best.
it's probably one of the better
Yeah.
ones. I mean, it probably is the best.
yeah.
Unless there's one I'm forgetting.
well, like you're forgetting Batman Ninja.
Or Beware the Batman. Fuck that
Yeah.
show. Yeah. I still am not crazy about 3D animation overall. I think
Yeah.
I think a 2D animation pass at this series might even done it some good.
Right. I mean, yeah, because that's what I grew up on too, was the 2D animation. Even last week, my dad and we were watching really old Popeye cartoons on YouTube.
Wow.
And I felt like that was when animation was really appreciated. Because so much was put into it, and it was evident in the finished product.
Right. You can see the
Yeah.
Well, I love just watching like the really old Disney movies and like showing like how those were made shot by shot. Like,
Yes.
why would you guys go through so much work?
Yeah.
Guys, let's talk about Merry Metal-Ease for a second. So, Travis, I want to hear your thoughts. What are you thinking, my friend?
Oh, Mary Medley's about this.
Either or at this point.
Well, Troll Hunters, I think season 2 was the strongest. Like,
Agreed.
it got
agreed.
it got going. It knew what it was doing now. It was like, okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna get the mom involved. We're gonna do all this. And I don't know if it was like towards the end of that they started getting the notice that they weren't gonna get like a 4th season or what, because I was like, nope, we gotta like cut the mom out and all of this. And they started just like,
Yeah.
it's such a weird cutoff point.
I even loved how Claire had such a bigger role to play in season 2, and she became even more of an important character.
Right. In fact,
She was actually more confident than Jim most of the time.
that move could not have happened fast enough, in my opinion. Like, we should have got her in on the game from, I would say, episode 1. Like, this whole...
No, it should have been episode 2, because they had to give time for Toby to figure things out first.
Yeah. Like, I mean, Claire being in the dark of it was, like, dumb. Like, I didn't like... it made me not like her character very much.
Yeah.
And Travis brings up a good point about the mom, like, the mom ending, her getting amnesia, feels like a stall.
Yeah.
Like a story stall, like, we're not ready for the mom to introduce in the character, be a full-fledged member of the team yet, so we'll write this out, but then again, you get a last season, so you're like, oh shit, we gotta write her back in, because, like, we don't actually have time for that stall. And I'm like, you know what? Even if you did get a next season and you did put that stall in there, that's dumb.
Yeah.
Like, that was still a cheap fucking move.
Yeah.
And it just ended up biting you in the ass harder than you even thought it was gonna.
And the problem with like these kind of shows is that I always tend to relate them back to Buffy.
Right.
Because they always feel very much like, it's a town in trouble. Buffy's kind of the OG of that one.
Yeah.
And then I think of the episode of The Body and I start crying.
Well, I mean, if we're completely honest about Buffy has a point in the later seasons where you're like, this isn't clicking anymore.
Right.
This isn't as good as it used to be. And they start to it starts to lose its way a little bit. This one just does it a lot sooner, in my opinion.
I understand that it probably had a lot to do with the fact that, hey, last season, go. And they're like, well, what? But I don't know. I feel like this could have been done more elegantly. Like,
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's 2 out of 5. It's 2 out of 5 for this season, and like a 3 out of 5 for the show overall.
the first 2 seasons are still really good, and they're worth watching. It just let down ending.
I mean, especially if you got kids, throw it on. They'll get a kick out of it.
Yeah.
It's real fun for
Especially,
them.
all the on-screen murder that happens.
I mean, well,
Beautiful murder.
with that, I do want to talk about some of that murder. Should we move into a spoiler section, or any other last-minute thoughts?
Wata chaka.
Watachaka indeed. Okay, so before we go into the spoiler section, I would like the AA Battery Gamers to let the people know where they can find you guys on the interwebs, any social media or your YouTube channel and all that good stuff.
Yeah, sure. We are mainly on YouTube under AA Battery Gamers. And we're on Tumblr. I'm on Instagram, and I just started doing and Twitter, and I just started doing Twitch live streams.
Cool.
And I started this new series called I was originally calling it Ash Tries. And where I try all kinds of different things, but and then Mander got in on it too. So
Sure.
we've been just doing whatever we can with that. But we post all of our links with all our videos so that it's all in one spot. So
Sounds good. All right. And if you guys want to catch up with the rest of the previous episodes of Troll Hunters we were on with the AA Battery Gamers, or Voltron, we did Voltron, right, with you guys?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we did? Okay. And you want to try to check that out, you can go to our previous catalog back in Netflix and Kill under the UGO moniker on iTunes, or you can check us out on Twitter at UGO Podcast, or Facebook, that's the same thing. Or you can just email us at unapologeticgeekout@gmail.com. Tell us your thoughts on Troll Hunters. Are we wrong? Is Guillermo del Toro a genius and everything he touches is gold? Let us know. With that, we're going to take a small musical break, and we'll be back with the spoiler section right after this.
A 1, 2, 3, 4.
We wanna be mean! We wanna be mean! As mean as the scene! If you know what we mean! Yeah!
All right, spoilers section for Troll Hunters.
Killed my boy!
Joel, no.
In such a obvious choreographed way where it's like, well, you're gonna die now.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on! You
over.
could have gave me an extra episode with him.
Well, would you prefer like the last shot is him falling and then the episode ends and we have a whole flashback episode for him and then he dies? Is that what you wanted? So I feel like that-
It's the Armageddon moment where his whole life flashes before his eyes.
Joel, we had time now. But he also dies in a weird way, too, because he looks like he's about to take out Angor Rot by wrapping up in a
He
bear
tries
hug.
to, but then he kicks him off.
And I'm like,
That's
why
bullshit.
Didn't you, why didn't you just kill Angor Rot right there?
Yeah, or at least I would have been fine if he basically they hugged him and suplexed him down to his death, but then Angerot kicks him off. Like, you could have just had him fall to his death and then Angerot survived. I've been much better with that.
I don't know, they try and have their cake and eat it too there a little bit.
Because they were just like, oh, so he sacrificed himself for really nothing.
So let's talk about this Troll Jim thing. Quick, yay or nay on it?
Nay.
I'm a little on the fence.
Why?
I think it's fucking stupid.
No, it's the fact that it doesn't make any fucking sense, because it's the whole, they were saying it, oh, you cannot defeat Droll as you are, so you have to become half, troll. Except for he doesn't beat him, because, Gunmar is defeated by Claire.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, I mean, Morgana is defeated by Claire.
Yeah.
Right.
Actually, Jim does kill
Jim does defeat Gunmar.
yeah, that's true.
But because we never spend a lot of time with Jim facing off with Gunmar, we never felt with the idea of that Jim can't beat Gunmar on his own.
But there's the whole thing with oh, you cannot defeat Morgana without doing this, and it's but Claire does it anyway. So it's okay, so this whole thing was pointless. Good.
Yeah. Also, it also feels we had this troll character model for Jim that we're going to use in another season.
I'm pretty sure there's someone out there that they owe royalties for that fan art they used. That's basically just someone's fan art.
It actually is like someone who now works on the show used their fan art.
Right.
Pretty much.
And, it even doesn't even make any sense because it actually gets rid of one of his better abilities as the only day-walking
Troll hunter.
Troll hunter. Is
Yeah.
that, I can't go out during the
Yeah.
day. And I'm like, what the fuck was that?
And,
You gave up...
Yeah, throughout the series, they're saying oh, it's your humanity that makes you stronger than all the other troll hunters.
Until it's not.
Well, I'm like, you gave up a huge statistical and strategic advantage over going to the trolls, this whole going out during the day thing. I don't understand whatsoever that move was, other than the fact that they had a character model they needed to burn through.
No, that'd be hey, Blade, you want to become a full vampire?
Exactly.
No, that'd be dumb. But
I'm
you get
cool
stronger. No, that'd be dumb.
I'm cool with being a daywalker. Guys, it's sometimes, some motherfuckers are always trying to escape uphill. And so, that being said, the final fight's pretty cool.
Yeah, and did anybody else get suicide vibes from before he did the potion thing and transformed?
Because of how he was laying in the tub.
Yeah. He's just sitting there, his friends and family are begging them to not do it, and
look, I'm not sure if it was intentional, but if anyone got triggered off of that, I don't know.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised, especially since they do it in a bathtub and
and he fills it up with water, and it's what is this visual here? This feels weird. He could have done it in a lake, I guess.
at least that would have gone with the King Arthur motif.
And yeah, it turns out that all the other side characters, they are useless and never really come back, even in the final arc or whatever. I like that Steve and Eli get to actually do stuff in the final episode because they've been strangely absent through most of most of the season.
Steve does have some weird things with his mom's new boyfriend, the coach.
That was fun. That was fun.
That was a whole episode.
I thought that was kind of neat.
Oh man.
Where like all the teachers get that.
I could honestly see a whole side, like a different spin-off show based on just decompressing Steve as a character.
I find Steve very fascinating the more and more we learn about him.
I mean, don't be surprised that there are issues between stepdaddy and son.
Mm-hmm. Also, Strickler, I don't mean to critique you on your fighting or whatever, or your skills, but if you could fly this whole time, maybe fucking do that. Any time.
Or did you just not know?
It's like when Optimus Prime at the end of like Transformers 4 or whatever, like, I must go up into space, and he activates his rocket boots. I just want one of the Autobots to go, bitch, you could have flown your ass out of danger at any time? Fucking Ratchet died over there.
Or just, once again, going back to Pacific Rim, the fucking sword.
Hey,
maybe use that next time.
I mean, I'd open with it, like, and it's like ridiculous because there's no reason. Like, it's not like, oh, I suddenly changed or anything. Like, even Jim, like, fucking, changes. Like, when they change his voice, they give some bullshit magic powder.
No, they have they have a whole side episode dedicated to it.
Like, they have that shit.
Like, if you drink this powder, it will change you forever. Oh God, my voice changed. Like,
I'm sorry, turns like Strickler was a gargoyle the whole time.
Da 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 da.
Strickler.
Strickler lives again.
I can't tell you how much that pissed me off. I was like, there's no, dude. Like, you, at any point, you could have used that ability. That is some bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Well, especially like when him and Jim were facing against Angkor Wat, like, you couldn't just take the bomb and fly away.
Fly him away, dude.
Fine. Whatever.
Okay.
What is your deal? But yeah,
no pressure.
Also, we get to see Claire and Toby use their armor, which, it does a little bit. We never get that payoff that big either. They do their best in the thing. Jim does do some badass stuff, like just taking out, trolls.
The final fight is pretty awesome to watch.
Look, the animation is pretty neat. It's probably the best the show's ever been. I'm not gonna lie. The final fight's a spectacle to behold.
Yeah, it's just not emotionally worth it.
Well, I mean, yeah, and then there's the dumb, what's it? Merlin and Morgana are fighting the real battle or whatever. In the where were they? The subdimension or something. And it's like, yeah, I don't understand why Merlin, was this necessary element. And again, I'll keep repeating, sorry for a broken clock here. But obviously Merlin was supposed to be around longer to where he would have an arc where we would learn to like him or he would learn a lesson.
Yeah.
And the show ends with, Jim is hurt. And him and Claire are going to go off with the other trolls, some magical place to try and fix him and whatnot. And I'm like, wow, what a cop-out.
Yeah. And the Shadow Staff gets destroyed.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much done. I think Daylight also gets taken out, right?
But then, Merlin puts it back together.
Yeah. So there's definitely not any consequences.
No.
I mean, they leave Toby in charge of the town, which is interesting.
It seems really shitty. It's like, no, Toby, me and my girlfriend have to go off and figure out my new body together. You stay here.
Wow, I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah.
Guess who else is a furry? Am I right, Tobes? Up top, buddy. Up top.
Now,
come on, you gotta respect it.
If they have children, would they be quarter troll?
Look, but half Arthurian.
No, Strickler and Jim's mom has to raise all the babies from the Dark Lord.
Wow, yeah,
also a thing.
We glossed over it. we glossed over that pretty fun. Like, they all the changelings have an infant counterpart that have been remaining infants this entire time through years. And there's like, what, at least 50 to maybe not even of 100 babies? That it's like, well, here's all these kids that were abducted at one point, and you're like, man, there's a lot to unpack there.
Like,
that you
our
can't-
society has no way of dealing with that.
Like, that's a lot right there. Like, I don't understand how you parse through that. But, damn.
And then we've got the fact that Jim's mom is still having her memory flashbacks, and she starts expressing it through painting.
Very terrifying painting.
Yes.
Yeah. And that'd be cool, like if it was, like, again, last longer or have anything to do with an actual plot or anything, but, I mean, she doesn't even use her doctor skills to help out Jim at any point.
No.
Even at the end where he's hurt or whatever, like, I gotta go find some place to heal her, like, the
Yeah.
mom never really comes in at the end, like, there's all these resolutions that could happen that feel like they're half-baked or don't happen at all.
Not even like what happened when Jim wound up in the hospital in the first season,
Right.
And his mom was there taking care of him because, you know, hey, I'm a doctor and that's my responsibility.
And, you know, like, I mean, I get that we went into the end and everything, but, like, Morgana being taken out and like, it's kind of like, yeah, and so what? Like, I didn't even know that chick. I didn't know, like, what her main goal was. Like, I'm glad we thwarted her, I guess, because she was bad.
No, I mean, like, there really should have been something about how it's like, oh, well, see, Jim, your father had actually been, like, you know, had been around, and he fought Morgana before, and she killed him, and, like, going back to, like, the whole idea of, like, he's a descendant of Arthur, and it's, like, her job to kill the descendants of Arthur, or something.
See, that's not bad. Like, that's, like, I mean, I think
That would give pathos, that would,
I
like...
think I've seen episodes of Young Hercules that are like that has that same plot, but you know,
Probably.
it ain't bad. Like, that's
like,
something I could follow.
well, I mean, if you're gonna go with, like, a whole, like, again, the whole King Arthur motif, you only have so many stories
like,
to go.
yeah, like I would like, yeah, no, I'm behind that. Like,
And-
maybe they run into more knights around the time. Maybe some of the knights were actually half trolls.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
something. That's something we can go with. Hey guys, let's rewrite the season 4 of Troll Hunters while we're here.
Oh, and then
I'm way ahead of ya.
Gawain is a fucking troll that could walk in the daylight?
Ooh, okay.
That fucking write itself, guys. Come on.
Fan fiction writers, get on it. I want to read this. All right, what?
Another thing, they resolved the whole, like, Claire being possessed thing pretty quickly, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that would have been a bigger thing too.
Yeah, that
It was like, what, 2 episodes?
that started off with her being sick, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and her like not feeling great because of the staff. And then she gets possessed, and she's so obviously possessed,
Yeah.
like that. It feels weird that no one seems to notice. And
But those parts were pretty hilarious, and love Morgana and that.
yeah, I mean, I thought it would let us learn a little. I remember when I was excited by like, ooh, this Morgana character, like she's possessed Claire now, like we'll learn more about her or something. Yeah, there's just a lot of promise that never gets brought full circle on that. I think I said everything I wanted to say. How about everybody else? Did we have any last minute thoughts, some stuff like that?
Well, I was just looking up the Troll Hunter characters because I couldn't remember the name of the glowy crystal deep earth ruler there who
The
turns
blue
out to
bitch?
be yeah, she turns out to be bad.
Usurna.
Usurna.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I liked her at first, but then she turns out to be bad, and I'm like, shit.
I mean, I remember liking her at some point, but
Yeah.
it was so long ago.
And then she has like that monologue, like, "No, I'm the one who gave you to Gunmar, and like you're all my pawns." Blah ha ha. And then
Yeah, and she kills herself basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because these guys are like, haha, I did all these things, I'm a traitor. And then all the servants are like, hey, we're not like Gunmar, like we have thoughts and feelings and can betray you. Like,
And
what
she
are you
seems
doing?
so shocked by it. Like, how dare you betray me? But no, you're the one that admitted to betraying us. Like, you don't get this works.
Yeah, take a lesson from Loki here. Get a little more deceptive on your shit. Like,
No kidding.
get it.
And one last thing that I just came across on my phone here is that there is going to be a Funko Pop doll of Bular.
Hey, all right. You know, I missed Bular. I missed me some Ron Perlman. No offense, Clancy Brown, but Ron Perlman, my guy.
I really wish they could have like brought Bular back. Like, why couldn't they resurrect him too?
I mean, if we're resurrecting people, I mean, I don't know who are within and without the rules
Or like,
here.
you know, like Morgana could have resurrected him, and he was like more of a puppet, and like Gunmar was like pissed off about that.
Yeah.
So I think we should finish off on our least favorite kill as well, which is probably Drawl. I know we start off on like our favorite kill, but I don't remember what my favorite kill was. I mean, Gunmar's pretty generic. You know what? I kind of like Claire being the one that take out Morgana.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
that was unexpected. It makes the whole transformation to troll thing pointless.
Yeah.
But like having Claire being the
Like,
one do it is kind of neat.
But the thing is that's a good ending for her character. But I'm like, yeah, but that makes Jim's character stupid.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a win for another character fucks over another character. You know what I mean? So one step forward, two step back. So yeah, that's Troll Hunters, guys. Last time recording for Troll Hunters, unless we start doing the spin-off series.
Yeah.
So once again, thank you, Ashley and Amanda.
Yeah,
You've
no
been
problem. Those.
Yeah, anytime.
You have been absolutely lovely. Thank you, Travis, for going under this bridge with me, per se, if I may.
And eating these dirty socks with me.
Well, I mean, you got to get the ones that have already been worn, otherwise what we're doing.
What's the point?
And we're not monsters
Yeah,
here.
Gargoyle ones.
Yeah,
Not
because
in
what are we, animals?
So, this was fun. We will see you at the next one, guys. With that said, we are Unapologists, and we're out.